What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of New Book Who Dis. I am your host, Death Metal Hero, and with me, we've got Joe with Star Circuit tonight. So, what's going on, Joe? How you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for coming to hang out, man.
Yeah.
This book looks fantastic, and I couldn't resist putting the Canon White cover up behind us, man.
I don't blame you, man.
Crap, dude. Like, Kane is just, he's on another level, dude. So nice choice. Nice
Indeed.
choice.
And I'll have much more to talk about on that level at some point. But yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I love it.
I definitely want to hear, that story. We got Red Valkyrie in the chat. Woo, more Joe. Have a great stream, guys. Love you both tons. Thanks. Appreciate you, Red. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Flying Feline, Skull Flying Feline. Thanks for coming to hang out. So backstage we were talking about the Wolverine cover, or not. It was an Incredible Hulk cover with Wolverine and the claws, and just like what I wanted to say was, Todd just kind of changed things. He was doing his own thing. He did things that kind of stepped outside the box, and that's kind of how I feel like this whole scene that we've got right now is. And I don't know. I feel almost closer to comics now than I did, when I was paying a lot of attention to the mainstream. Is that weird?
Not from. I feel the same thing, and I think anybody in this thing, like maybe you can't tell from the outside, but once you're in it and in the community, as a creator, especially, it just feels like you are on another level. You're on another plane of figuring out what is good and what is not necessarily good, but as far as making cool comics, you have a different impression. And I think like there's so much energy, that really indie energy that you actually care about. That's what we have.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean the passion of not only because I'm assuming now, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but you've been reading comics, enjoying comics, a good portion of your life. This is something that's been a big part of your life for a long time. And it's probably part of the reason why you want to make comics, because you enjoy them so much, right?
It's correct. I have a little bit of a different story, but we can get into it. But I do have a good portion of my life where comics were everything. Excellent. Or are everything, yeah.
Yeah. I've been reading comics since I was 3. Sai says, "Hey Joe, long time no see."
Yeah. Must be years.
Yeah, eons.
Yeah.
My dad got me into comics when I was a little kid. I was 3 years old. He gave me, Spider-Man, Batman, the Fantastic Four, and that's I couldn't really read them, but I was very interested to learn how to read because I wanted to know what they were saying. And so that, I don't know, that gave me like a love of reading. And then I discovered the Chronicles of Narnia later, and that just really kind of it was over from there, just reading and art. And also, of course, video games,
Yeah.
I see that Nintendo 64 shirt there.
Yeah. That's what I was going to bring up. I have a similar thing, and it brings to mind how much like the small gifts and influences people get you when you're like 3 or 4, like how much that influences your early years and kind of determine a lot of everything else. And I didn't get really any comics when I was young, which kind of is weird. I got barely any. And so I maybe would have gotten to it early on way quicker. But what I did get was an NES. And so I got into Nintendo and video games early on.
Yeah.
But who didn't at that kind of,
Well, but that's the thing. That it was they kind of went hand in hand at that time, man. You had comic books, you had video games, and I loved both. I would play my NES. Yeah. Oh yeah, like do you remember Fireball Island from back in the day?
No, I don't. But what time? Like when? I don't know how
it was a tabletop game. It was a board game, and you'd have like this idol that you would sit in the middle of the board, and it was like this island. You had to get up and snatch this ruby, and then you'd had to get to
say the name again.
Fireball Island, and you would send like red marbles down these paths, and they would knock you off of like bridges and pathways. And yeah, it was a great
describing game. It. I remember it.
Well, and it was kind of one of those what is the type of plastic, the impression molding, like the vacuum seal, like they have a thing and they vacuum form it over. There it is, vacuum form. They vacuum form it over, and then they painted it all up, and it looked really cool. It had little spaces where you walked along and whatnot. But yeah, if you have the original Fireball Island, like even with a ratty box, which I had growing up, that shit's worth like $600. No idea where it is now. No clue.
Yeah.
Gone. Yeah.
A lot of times you don't know. I still have my Atari 2600 and the NES in my boxes, so I'm holding off on those to like see where they go eventually.
Oh yeah,
but they might sell for some pretty price eventually.
Well, I mean, it depends. Again, it all depends on how many of them are left, what condition they're in. Yeah, I still have my Super NES. I have an old Sega Genesis 3. I have an OG. What is over there? An OG Xbox, a PS3, and then a PS4.
It's not bad.
Yeah,
being Nintendo, I've been a Nintendo guy, and I think I brought up now that we're on video games for a second. I made a post not too long ago about how much video games influence my comics and how that works.
Absolutely.
And they do quite a bit because the way I see video games is it's one of the only other mediums besides comics where the viewer fills in the gaps of the storytelling and what you see in the game. Especially the early games because
it's interactive.
Right.
It requires thought because you have to do the input. But comics are also interactive because you actually have to look at the pages. You got to look at the artwork. You got to make connections.
And and for both of them, you're feeling like, especially the early games, but comics a lot of times, well, just naturally, if you're reading the comic, you're filling in the gaps between the panels. Like you're not seeing all the motion, but your mind is thinking about it.
Yeah, stitching it together for you. That's right. And that's kind of the fun of it. Your mind is making the animation for you. I kind of liken it to the monster in a horror movie, right? Mm-hmm. If it's shadowy and it's dark and you can't really see it, you get like a hint of the monster, your mind is going to fill in something so much more horrifying and awesome and gruesome than anything they can come up with. Mm-hmm. It's the same principle. You got to leave just enough for the mind to make the connections and bring it to life. It's kind of like that jump that it makes is the spark that makes it pop to life in people's eyes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. There's it's the same thing as maybe I think if you like have any kind of other inspirations, trying to think like the best example of this, but for me, video games are a good way to put it because like the early games, they're so pixelated that you don't really know. You see everything that's happening, but you really don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
Especially if you like play the early Atari games, like playing Pitfall, you're like,
so fun.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
So, and even the N64 stuff, it's still polygonal, but
polygonal.
Yeah. But you're still you're filling in all these like details that we now get in games, but you were doing that with your mind before.
Oh yeah. Well, and with video games now, I mean, we run into the uncanny valley. Like things look too real, and our mind's like, no,
right. It's not passing the test.
No, and a skilled video game maker could use that to advantage. Like have like in a horror game like this monster, like for instance, this new Resident Evil. Mm-hmm. Like if they really like pushed the uncanny valley with her, and then made all like the human characters look less uncanny valley, then that would add to the whole creep factor. Because when our minds see that, our lizard brain is like, get away. That is not real. Do not trust.
Right. That's why I think that's why, I mean, I'm a big fan of the From Software guys. And I think that's why a lot of people like Dark Souls and Bloodborne in particular. So I'm a big Bloodborne guy, but that's why we love that game, is because everything's just a little bit off. Like even the human-ish type people are like, the arms are kind of mangled, or that's some odd looking faces.
Plague what makes it, deformity.
Right.
Yeah, I have not played a whole lot of Bloodborne. I have a PS4. I got it for the exclusives. I got it for Bloodborne. I got it for God of War. I mean, I really love that God of War game.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Those Valkyries are so effing hard.
I know, dude. I think I stopped at like 4 or whatever they are. I don't know how many.
You know what? I tried a few of them. I was just like, I'm clearly not a high enough level for this. Holy crap. And then I haven't had a whole bunch of time to play video games recently. So
which is how it goes. If you're trying to create stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, what I'm thinking is I might actually try to start doing like video game content for the channel, so I have an excuse to play the video games, because I'm at least working on some aspect of my career, you know, building up my channel, building an audience, because I'm streaming to Twitch now as well. So I mean, there's a bunch of people out there that may see like an interview show like this on Twitch and they're like, yeah, okay. But they see a game, then they're like, ooh, all right, cool.
Different.
You know, exactly. Valkyries are always hard.
Yeah.
Yes, I know. Valkyries are always tough bitches.
Yeah, you should have saw where. Yeah, we're talking about I've got a 3D print on my campaign now, and it's really big. It's a big 3D print, and we're having a joke over there. But anyway, you're right.
Favorite video game. What's your favorite video game? Let's say in the last 10 years. You know, we'll give you a little scope.
10 years.
Yeah.
Was that?
I mean, aside from Bloodborne.
Yeah. What are we at? 2021. So that looks at 2011. Okay. Just so I can kind of frame what system was out.
We are looking at like the end of the PS3 and into the PS4 era. You know.
Yeah. Well, that would be. I think it's a tough call because I am a huge fan of both Metroid Prime and the new game Hollow Knight that came out just not long ago.
Oh yeah,
You've seen Hollow Knight?
I have Metroidvania type. I dig those.
Yeah, dude. I think Hollow Knight is probably the best game of the decade. And if I didn't love Metroid Prime so much that it beats everything else, and it's only $15. I don't understand how these Australians do it.
They work hard, man. I mean, look at all the creative Australians we got in this indie scene, man. For real, like a bunch of talented bastards. You bogans, you talented buggers.
If we ever come across one that knows these guys out here, I'll fly out to Australia so I can meet these guys. I do a lot of cool things with video game integration on my channel a little bit. I try to do the same thing.
Cool, man. Yeah, drop the link to your channel in the private chat, and I'll drop it in the public chat. And the link for the campaign is, at least it should be, in the description. Yes, I did it right.
Heck yeah. So
sometimes I forget these things.
I want to mix a few things, but the big games that influence me, maybe I'll talk about what I posted on Twitter, which is the games that influences Star Circuit, the book that my debut book, really, the book that I'm putting out right now. So it's a racing book. So one of the first racing things that I've ever seen that ties into it is F-Zero. And F-Zero was like the first time you got this, like, dude, it's like Mario Kart on crack is the only way to describe F-Zero, especially on that 2D level if you played Mario Kart on the SNES. But yeah, it's really high paced, just out of control.
I remember the first time I saw F-Zero, that shit blew me away because, you know, I had my NES and I went to go visit my grandparents for the summer and went to one of the neighbor kids' house, and they had a Super Nintendo, F-Zero, Super Mario World, and Contra 3.
Nice.
My tiny 7-year-old mind was blown away.
Yeah. I've had I think, 2 games did that to me. I think Street Fighter Turbo did it to me. I was like, whoa, this is the craziest game I've ever seen.
Yes.
But also Super Mario World as well. There's a couple other games that really blew my mind. But yeah, F-Zero is a big inspiration for Star Circuit. I'd say it's a mix between Akira, the anime Akira, and F-Zero. It's a meshing.
Totally see that. Yeah, and then, you know, you toss in like some of the cyberpunk elements. I can totally see that. Speaking of this awesome campaign that we were talking about here, let's go ahead and bring this up so everybody can see what all the hubbub is, bub.
The bubs of hubs.
Right. The bird is the word. Chrome tab.
Bird.
Yes. You're welcome. Everybody that just started playing in their head.
Yep.
This is the book that we're talking about. Suck it. And this is your first campaign, right? This is your first book.
Nice. Yes, it is.
Hell yeah, dude.
We may have gotten more backers than just recently, or maybe it pulled back because of something else. But on Red Valkyrie, I think we jacked it up. Yeah, there we go.
1292. That's 12,972. 236 backers. 2 days left. That means y'all need to jump on this soon.
Yeah, you
All right.
do lose some things if you do, but yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
All right. Y'all keep that in mind while we watch this trailer, all right?
Welcome to the future. A place where you can find anything you desire. If the burner gangs don't find you first. Where the fastest racers are artificial. And if you're human, you don't stand a chance. Star Circuit. Yeah.
Dude, that's slick. I like it.
It's a hype trailer. I can't even.
Yeah.
I got lucky, kind of.
Star Circuit. Fucking great, man. Who did your voiceover?
I got a guy on Fiverr to do.
No kidding. Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
I highly suggest going to just. Yeah, I guess it's a good spot.
That's great. No, the trailer looks good. Did you cut it together yourself?
No way. I paid I paid my trailer, my teaser is on my channel, and that's the one I did, my early teaser. But this was done by Ted Zagaro. He did Sovereign Wolf.
Yeah.
He did Xenotype.
Yeah. He's good, man. Yeah, Ted does good work.
Ted is the bomb, and he also did the music here too. So
okay, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. That's actually how I encountered Ted. First time was the music. Yeah, just hearing his music on something, I was like, that's cool, man. That's a catchy beat. I dig that shit, you know. Yeah. And I looked it up, and it was Ted, so I started following him on the Twitters.
Yeah, we worked on it for a long time, and I'm particular about everything about this book because it's something that it's not one that I've worked on for a year or two. This is like a 4.5 year setup to get this book going.
I love hearing that. Oh, look, Pops is here to say hey to Joe.
What's up?
Oh, yeah, you too, Luke. Yeah, okay. I know why you're here, Pops. You're here for him and this. It's all good. It's like, what's up, Pops? Good to see you, buddy. Thanks for coming to hang out. Dude, this book looks fantastic. And so you are the artist and writer. Like, you just one man in one man army in this?
Yeah, it's like a lot of it stems from me slightly being a good control freak and slightly not really being great at networking. So that
you make do, right?
it's both. Yeah. So the cool part is I learned to do the roles that needed to be done. And that's why I took 4.5 years, because I didn't know how to write. So I spent 1.5 years learning how to write. And then I didn't know how to really color. So I spent 1.5 years learning how to color. And that's how you do it.
I mean, it's beautiful, dude.
I appreciate it.
The colors are vibrant. It's the colors are almost like an anime in their vibrancy. You know, like how most comics don't have like that. I don't know, not that animation quality.
Right.
It's a different quality of coloring. It's different. It's not quite as. I mean, because there is plenty of vibrant coloring out there, but I don't know if it's the saturation. I don't know if it's like
it's a mix between how much lines are there too.
So yes. Okay. Yes.
I'm also going straight from pencil so there's not really heavy blacks. So without that darkness, a lot of your eyes go to the color first rather than the blacks of the ink.
You know what? I totally see that, actually. Like looking at the small part of it doesn't show my cursor. All right, the small part of his collar right here on the small, book there.
Yeah.
And then you look at the darker part, but you come down here. Yeah, that's not heavy blacks.
No, it's just color. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So are you penciling traditionally? Are you?
Yes, I go because this is the look I wanted. I find is when I do totally digital stuff, my stuff looks too clean, and I don't get a good result that I want. Like, I don't know how
I ink traditionally.
There you go.
Yeah.
I don't know how Kanan does it, how he gets so much grit and
Mm.
organic feel out of his, because he's all digital.
Yeah.
I don't know how he does it, but the way I get it to work and why this book is so unique is because I'm combining things. I'd say I'm combining in the art style, I'm combining this anime with the comic American style kind of feel with proportions and everything. But I'm also combining, like you said, this process. The pencils go straight from pencil, gritty. I don't erase out much of the line work. Like if I shade weird, it goes through and shows through. So yeah, the coolest part is this meshing of pencils, the color.
It definitely gives it a unique feel, man. I dig it. It you know, because one of the things about cyberpunk is that it's, you know, high tech, low life. You know, it's got to be gritty, it's got to be dirty, otherwise it doesn't really sell. The only exception I've ever seen to that was what was it? Did you ever watch Almost Human on Fox? It was Carl Urban, and I can never remember the dude's name, but he was awesome. He played Dorian, the basically the android, the cyborg.
No, I really wanted to. I saw an ad for it, and I never got to watch
it. They only got one season, but it was so good. But that was like it was a kind of a clean cyberpunk, not super clean, mind you, but it was clean enough. It was cleaner than Blade Runner,
right?
You know,
well,
but yeah, that's
about it. If you go straight clean, it almost just becomes sci-fi. The punk, you're missing the punk part.
Exactly.
And without punk, you just have cyber.
And you know that, I mean, that's been done to death. I mean, granted, cyberpunk has been, but there's so many different facets of cyberpunk and so many different ways to do it, and you can mesh it with different things too.
For sure.
You know,
I love a lot of. Sorry, go for it.
I was just gonna say I feel like that's one of the punk aspects of it. You know, is that you can mix it with things. You know,
and I think
what's up, Spence?
I feel like a lot of my style is very. Some people would call it surface storytelling, but I call it fantasy. Like it's kind of like Star Wars in the sci-fi realm.
Oh, absolutely.
So science fiction is more Dune, more like really like the Star Trek side of things. Where I'm more Star Wars, which is I don't try to figure out every little bit of science, why this all works, or the details of all that.
Spence says, I saw Joe mention he's a painter for models. Tell him to hit me up.
All right. I shall.
What's up, Resistance? Thanks for coming to hang out. Evening to you as well.
So I think that's the best part about with doing the book of your choice and not having other influences. If you have a writer, it's on his call, and then you have to collaborate to kind of find it.
Right.
But if you do both roles, I have a vision for everything that's in here, and I don't have to fight over it, or you know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the pure essence of creator-owned book, man. You know, this is your book. You get to tell it how you want it. You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of when Salvador LaRocca was working with Chris Claremont doing Extreme X-Men, and he had just started doing the whole pencils, and then I think Liquid was doing colors directly over his pencils. It was the first time anybody had seen that, and you know they were playing around with it, trying to, you know, get the levels so it had a more vibrant, alive, almost animated feel to it. That's what this reminds me of, and it's fucking gorgeous, man.
I appreciate it. It's weird because you look at the pencil work, and I put in as much time. I know I had this conversation with a couple people already, but how to save time, and it would be in my pencils. But I really like doing the traditional pencils where I put in a lot of time there.
I can see. You know? I mean, you know, the simple things like this dust moving out of the way. You know, stuff in the air, little stuff like that. Storytelling, movement. I mean, that all. It all makes it feel real. It all makes it feel like it's actually within the world, like it's anchored in the world. So it's great, man.
Yeah, and
these are gorgeous.
I thank you. You know, it's something where I have, like I said, with seeing it all, and since I'm an artist, and I'm more of an artist than a writer, so the visuals are what comes easy, like making all the story structure work and everything else. That's the harder part for me.
Right.
It takes more time. You know, it takes me a half an hour to write a Twitter post, let alone a book. So, you know, it takes a while to get things going.
Right.
For me. Yeah.
All right. That's better. Now I can see it. Wow. I do you have any examples of your pencils on this?
All the way at the bottom. There's
all the way at the
yes.
bottom. All right, we're going down there because I want to see these pencils. We'll scroll back up, so don't anybody worry. There we go. Nice. So what lead are you using? What kind of lead?
I use two different types. I do 2H on the basics, and then I do kind of contours with an HB.
Nice. Okay. Yeah.
Just helps me keep it clear.
Well, I mean, the 2H helps you not draw too dark as well when you're doing your layouts.
Indeed. And the HB is just to kind of cover up more of the, any of the dark spots is where I'm using HB. I'm like trying to draw your eye away from the bad stuff.
Smoothing it out. Well, I mean, it's almost like an inking before inking. You're doing your layouts, your breakdowns with your 2H, and then you're kind of coming in and finishing it all up, like what most people would do with an inking brush, or whatever you come in and do with the HB. It gives you your darks and your solid lines so that the scanner can pick it up.
For sure,
that's cool.
I like the way I know I'm a big fan of pencils over inks because inks is obviously keeps it flat, and there's a reproduction value of inking. But for me, if you intentionally go into doing the pencils for a finished product, they come out different.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
If you go into it like, oh, this is going to ink, then you're careless with how you're shading sometimes.
Well, I mean, it depends on the penciler, but yeah,
true.
No, I totally feel what you mean. Like if it's going to be the finished product is the pencils, then yes, absolutely. You render everything out. I mean, look at the corridor up here at the top, where he's coming through on the cycle and dodging between the cars. I mean, that's fantastic. Like the perspective, if I don't know, you leave some of that to the inker if you have a different inker, just because you want to give them something to do, make them give them something to contribute other than just tracing over the lines, because inkers are artists as well. They want to contribute something to the page. So you leave something so it's a collaboration. It's this beautiful amalgamation of two things,
right?
But yeah, the crowd penciled out fully back there.
I think that's for sure. I think there's some really crazy pages in this book, and I'm selling them all. So
man,
I think I'm selling them for, you get the book and a page for $225 if anybody's interested. But there's not many takers yet, so it's first come, first serve. You get to pick whatever you like.
Wow. This is the Star Circuit 9x24 banner. Holy crap, that is huge. 9 inches by 24. Wow.
Yeah. I'll actually, it's one of the first things. It's my proof of concept kind of image. There's a couple images that I did early on, but this was the first thing. I think it's the thing I've spent more time on than any other piece ever.
Wow.
It's probably upwards of like 60 hours for some reason. I
was actually having a conversation earlier today with my buddy Anthony, and he was talking about sometimes he gets stuck on other things that he was working on, and he'd go back to a certain piece and just noodle on it. He wasn't worried about finishing; he's just noodling on it. It would kind of help him get past something. So I mean, that's cool. Maybe that's what this was for you. Maybe
not necessarily for me. It was like I didn't exactly know what it was, so there was a lot of exploration.
Right. Okay. So you're excavating the fossil. You found this thing and you're just kind of chipping away at the edges of it, see where it's at.
True.
Dig it.
I did a few other designs, like how the world would work, but I didn't know what it was really going to look like. And if I show you the pencil work for this page or the spanner, there's a lot of stuff that's just lost. I drew all the people like in that background of the city. I drew like people. There's like, you can zoom in and shit. There's like nuts. Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. Hang on, we got to go up here and take a look at some of this. There's a lot of gorgeous artwork on this page. Hold up. Anyway, so is there like there's both covers. There's design book. There we go. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
All right. So your featured tier. Let's take a look at this. This is the essentials. What do we get in the essentials here?
Yeah, essentials are the best value, and I'd say there's other tiers that you get. I think more things, but this is the best value. You're going to get the design book, which is all the layouts. That's the roughs of the pencil work. and also a lot of concept work. I did. Let's get to 300 backers because I'm giving away pages at 300. So
Nice.
Let's get there. So yeah, like I said, I spent 4 years doing this. So 2 of those years I concepted out all the sci-fi stuff, and that's what's in this book. So you get the main book, and then this concept art book, plus the banner we just talked about, and then a mini print of the banner and a trading card. That's for $50.
Yeah. See, I love stuff like the design book. I love seeing stuff like that. The background, what went into making this final product. Like,
oh yeah, you're gonna love it.
Things change.
I had to dig up a lot of stuff. I didn't realize I had this. I show this sometimes. This is the first time I started figuring out the logo, and you can kind of see what's what kind of went into it, and the different directions I could have gone. What I really liked, what I didn't like. I almost really like this gradient thing I was doing here. And then I started honing in on closer to what it is now.
That is a very cool logo. And I'm sure Shay has mentioned this, but a patch would be dope.
Oh, yeah. And there is. Yeah. There is. So, yeah, we have. It's cool. we've hit the stretch goal. So everybody is getting patches.
Oh, okay. Great. Mm-hmm. Ha! That is awesome.
Sure, we'll get down there.
Yeah. Oh, we will. All right. And main cover. So just $16 for just the main cover, and you get the print and the book. That's great, man.
Yeah, I try. I mean, plus the stretch goals, so you're really getting like probably 5 things.
That's a value. I mean, that's an easy financial barrier to get across. It's not too high. Sometimes $25 people can be like,
that's the thing about this is a 32-page book, so it's right in between. It's like you get a good amount of value for it's more than an issue, but it's not like a trade back. You're not getting a whole arc, Yeah,
that's great. And with the digital, you get a digital of the main book and then the layouts.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. That's definitely, that adds value, since they're not going to be getting a physical print.
Yeah, very I wanted to give them a little bit of, a little bit of something. Yep.
And then the Canon white cover. That cover is just.
And while we're here, this is also colored by Steve Furcal.
Oh yeah,
he colored Stephen Platt and Dave Finch. This is who's on this cover
with that name.
Yeah,
I've seen him on a lot of different stuff, like Witchblade, Darkness, a lot of Top Cow stuff
for sure.
Very cool.
He did the Gnomon DVDs as well. The How to Color. That's where I first saw him on the Gnomon DVDs.
I actually have those.
There you go. So
he did those.
He did this cover, which it's ironic because he was the first time I tried to figure out how to color comics, and ironically, my debut comic has his colors on it. It's pretty awesome.
That's full.
It's a dream come true for me.
That's beautiful, man.
This whole thing is a dream come true, guys. Like anybody who's backing, you're supporting more than just the book. You're supporting, almost my life is not hinging on it, but you know what I mean. Like as far as the way I feel, you helping out is hinging my heartstrings. You know what I mean?
Well, this is what we do. This is the indie scene. I mean. How could you look at this and the concept, the artwork? I mean, you've pulled together a lot of good talent in the, just in this variant cover right here, and then just the story and the book you've put together yourself. I mean, this is what indie comics should be.
Yeah. Let me maybe do you have a good reading voice? Do you want to read the blurb, or do you want me to they get a little taste of what the story's about?
Right here.
Yeah, just that.
Okay, yeah. After all human attempts have ended in tragedy, one street racer, Atlys Metric, is still convinced that with the help of a long-forgotten racing legend, he can win in a championship full of unbeatable androids and save what's left of his broken family.
That's it. It's all. This whole book is about purpose and about family. And in this future, since androids have become so technologically advanced, we've kind of lost our purpose. All humans have lost their purpose. And in this world, it's almost suicidal to try to go and race against these androids. And there's this one guy that gets convinced because he's kind of an asshole and kind of a cool guy. And, he gets girls, but he doesn't know what he's getting himself into. But he kind of rolls with the punches, and you get to see how he kind of becomes a better person as he gets better at racing.
Atlys Metric. I like the name. It's got a nice ring to it.
Mm-hmm.
And then here you can get the main cover and the layouts and design book and the Atlys print, all signed, bagged, and boarded for $32. That's a hell of a deal too. So I mean, the only thing you don't get there is the 9x24 banner.
Yep,
that's really cool. And then, so is this a black and white version?
No, it's one of the thumbnails. Also, anytime you add on anything, guys, and you see the black and white Kanan, it is actually colored. That one and this one I forgot to update. I totally forgot they were there. I'll probably try to get to that before closing day. But yeah, that's
now what is this now? Okay.
This is the newest stuff, man. This I feel like we need to have some metal playing in the background as I describe this. This bike is so awesome. If you scroll down, this will accompany this better. If you go right past the pages, if you go a little bit down past the interiors, there we go. Here? So this is the Metric X50, which is the main bike of the story. The Metric X50 is a premium street bike. It's equipped with variable sport grav discs, and all the bikes in the story run on burning data instead of fuel. So
high bandwidth data capacity.
Right. So it's pretty much got a big hard drive of data.
Nice.
so it's got a big hard drive, but a converter for it. So anyway, this is a 3D print, and it's a big 3D print. It's 7 inches long, 3.5 inches high, 3 inches wide. So it feels like it's probably like a brick that if you picked up a brick off of the ground, that's what the size it would feel like. It's really big for a 3D
prettier
print.
Than a brick.
Yeah. So this first edition is just gray. It'll say first edition on the base. It's $60, and we're going to do a competition where you can paint it yourself, and whoever has the coolest design, I'm going to put you in the new book.
Nice.
And so here's the actual video of it spinning around.
That's awesome. Okay, this unique, meticulously sculpted model and professionally executed 3D print is done by Dead Sun Prime.
Yeah, he's a great artist. I went to school with him, and he knows 3D printing in and out. And
yeah, that's nice and clean, man. That is very clean. Because sometimes in 3D printing they have like the edges, and you can see like the ridging and stuff like that.
You were just talking about that,
yeah. No, this is really good.
If you scroll up to the model again, the 3D model, just one more up, I think. Go to the big. Yeah, go to that one. You see, you might even be able to see it here. There's the tire tread. Even the details of the tire tread are on the model.
Oh yeah, right in there.
Things like that. Things like small grooves on the heads-up display, and so there's a lot of things. If you do want to paint this thing, you're gonna have a fun time figuring out how to paint it.
Plenty of little surfaces and nooks and crannies to paint.
And we'll give you a free coat of primer if you do want that option. I give you that option.
That's cool. Yeah, look at all the details up in there and on the tires and stuff as it spins around. That's fucking cool. It definitely reminds me of Akira. Right? Canada's bike. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard not to love that inspiration, and that's where I draw from. I think Akira, we talked about maybe one of my favorite books, and I think just the Akira series, only because I was so into it that I didn't even read the book. I was too into the art that I couldn't read. That's how I was like so dumbstruck, and I didn't read it for years. I would just look at the art for years.
Oh yeah, just blown away.
Yeah. I was like, it took me years to get back into it. I was like, oh man, maybe I'll actually
maybe I should actually read this
book
instead of just drooling over the art.
Right.
Is Spence says nice details to grab a solid wash. Yeah, Spence paints minis all the time.
Nice, dude.
What's up, Christopher John? Thanks for coming to hang out, homie. Hello, 24 eyes. Welcome. Thank you for coming to hang out
with the owls every time.
How much time is left in this campaign? 2 days. 2 days, Spence.
2 days.
That's all we got left.
So yeah, I'll be closing with we're actually closing midnight on Saturday. So there are things that you'll lose if you wait too long, because I do think we're going to go in demand, but you're going to lose on a lot of value. You're going to probably, the discounted tiers are going to not be discounted. You're not going to get the free print of the banner with any of the tiers. That'll drop. And two other things. Oh, the trading card will drop as well. That will not be a part of the feature tier or any of the other tiers. So it's a good reason to jump in now. Definitely more things.
Excellent. He says, I worked for Games Workshop in high school. I paint scale statues as well. Oh boy.
Damn.
I didn't know that. That's fucking cool.
Spence.
Yeah. That's cool, dude.
What we're doing right now, because we're trying to field ourselves a painter, and we're sending out a small version to get a test done. And so if you're in, I'll, if you want to DM me right now, go ahead. I'm Catapano Art on Twitter, and that way I know where you're at, Spence.
Absolutely. All right, let's scroll back up here now. Let's see where we got down to here. So we just talked about that. That is so cool.
Yeah, you got the free primer, and it's only $60, guys. So like if we do get it painted, it'll probably be in the hundreds. So this is the way to do it. Yep.
Very cool. That is rad. Sketch card. Okay, so you get the book, the print, and a sketch card.
So the sketch card is obviously being an original of mine. And it'll be a character from the book. It's not any character from anywhere, but I will get to choose. It'll be a main character, and what could I draw?
It'll be a fun character from the book.
Yeah, maybe even get a little bike shot too. Most of them will be around motorcycles.
Nice. All right, and here's like the whole kit and caboodle here.
Yep, the neck daddy, the Apex backer is This is my best friends. No. So here you get everything else that we talked about so far: the supplemental concept art book, the 2 covers, the banner, the sketch card, trading card, the free print that you only get while the campaign's active, and a T-shirt. The T-shirt's the only way to get the T-shirt is with this tier.
I know, you bastard.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I love T-shirts.
Yeah.
And what does this say here? What does this I see here? Hollow foil? Is it?
No, it's just hollow logo. Because if you scroll down to the logo, it's all like a holographic looking bike.
Okay, there you go. Holographic logo. Yeah. That's a hell of a package deal, though. I mean, but you're also getting that sketch card. So I mean, that's pretty.
That's what pushes it up. We could have. I could pull out the sketch card and just keep it at 100. Maybe you'd get more of them.
Maybe. I mean, because people do like T-shirts, man. All right, and then we got the original page for $225. Get the book and the print and an original page. Hot damn!
Can't beat that. It's definitely. I normally would charge probably around 300 and up for a page. So by far, it's the cheapest way to get a page. I guarantee by the time the next entry is out, these pages are going to be more expensive. It's just how it goes.
Well, I mean, and you guys have seen the quality of the artwork. I mean, look, imagine getting this page right here, in the pencils for this page.
And the way I'm working it is I will send you the book first, and then if you want, I'll email you, because there's not many of these guys. There's obviously can only be 31.
Right.
Email you personally, see if you want both at random, or if you want to get the book first through PDF, and then pick a page, and then I'll mail out the book. So.
Yeah, that's I think that's a great idea. Give people a chance to look at it and see what page they want to pick. All right, so you even have the stretch goals all planned out. Look at you. Wow. All right, so at 6K, we get the Legend postcard. Yeah,
so all these have been unlocked. So everything you just saw plus what we got here. So we're only got one we're working for 14K.
Holy cow. That's right. You're already way up here. That's right. The stars Kanji patch. Nice.
It's going to be great. I was talking to Shay about it too on her channel, that we just saw the first image of the patch and it's looking great. So what you get is this postcard. You get along with everything else, because you're getting a free print as well. So now you get a postcard that's double-sided. You get my buddy Joe Catapano. This is Jeremy from Art Bros. I have a channel on YouTube called Joe Catapano.
Yeah.
Subscribe if you like. We're really close to 1,000 subs. And we're getting there almost. And so me and him do a channel stream on Wednesdays at 7 Eastern. And he's a big artist and has a video game called Beckon that he's been working on for forever. It looks incredible. He's working on a comic kind of prologue right now, but he did that print. So you get that for free. That'll come in your Gemini mailer.
Excellent. And extra style pages. What were the extra style pages?
So they're not interiors. I'm not a big fan of like adding pages because or like interior story, because I'm like, I feel like the pacing I have is the pacing that would work best.
I totally understand, man. I've actually wondered that when people are like, oh yeah, we're gonna add pages, and like, does that not fuck up the flow of your story?
Right.
A little bit. Okay.
It makes me a little nervous as well. So I'm like, okay, well, I guess you can always add pages to maybe just.
I mean, like a backup story, like a, I don't know, smaller thing.
The way I think about it is like deleted scenes. Like maybe there's a scene you didn't get to tell. Could be there, could not be there. It might not help.
Right.
You know?
Yes. I think it's a good way to look at it. Totally.
So, but these pages for me are prologue and epilogue stuff. So the prologue is like, it's a pretty cool idea. So the first thing you'll see when you open the book is, I'm going to give it away, but there's a little bit of a fourth wall kind of, or the fourth wall is kind of broken a little bit. The comic book is kind of, it's recognizing itself a little bit. So there's a little cyberpunk thing going on. Plus at the end, I decided to add this is something I don't talk about because I don't think it's something that needs to be, but I'm going to have a whole page full. Everybody's name that backs is going to be in the book. Everyone's going to be listed.
There you go. Because the name gets printed in the book, guys, just on top of that.
Yep. So that was part of that stretch goal. And here's a cool one, the one we both probably love.
That's fucking rad. Companion Mixtape Mp3.
This is the only stretch goal that every backer gets because it's digital. So even the digital tiers get this, which is cool. Right. But anyway, yeah, it's 5 or 6 tracks, depending on who's going to come through at the end for me. But we've got all the indie artists you could think of. We might be able to play a little bit of one track later. I don't know how long we go on this on your channel.
I usually aim for about an hour. You know?
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, if you want to play something, bring it up. If you want to share your screen, we can absolutely play something.
Sure.
So the only one we're looking to unlock now is the Brothers 5.5.5 by 8.5 print.
Mm-hmm. I specifically picked that size that way everything would fit in the Gemini mailer.
Yes.
No extra charge. I just have to pay the printing cost, and for the most part, it's going to be the same price.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I wanted you guys to all get the best value. Yep.
This image is really funny here. The brother yelling, one brother yelling at the other. It's a lot of story told in that one image.
Oh yeah,
that's awesome.
Do you want to listen to? Because I have 2 different things. I can give you a taste of Ryan Wynn's stuff, or I can give you a taste of more synthwave kind of stuff. Traditional.
Oh no, let me hear what our boy Ryan put together for you.
Okay, I'm not gonna do the one with the full band yet, but I'll give you the one that actually will play.
Look at this, this is beautiful.
Oh yeah.
Just remember the 9 by 24 print of this banner is going to go away after 2 days. Like this will not be available in the next couple of days. So just be aware of that.
Jump on it while you can.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so I'm bringing it up. Let's see.
Man, look at that shirt. Look at that logo for you.
And we got a awesome cast of characters. Look, those cast of characters are just to give the basics of a few of them. The main character is Atlys. He, like I said, he's like the charmer, gets all the girls, but he's kind of an asshole narcissist.
This is your main protagonist. He's the guy that's crazy enough to actually try to race these
right, correct. He's a crazy person. His brother Menno is the opposite, kind of loyal to a fault, your best friend, but probably should look out for himself more. And then his ex-girlfriend Hip is like an adrenaline junkie, born in the slums, first to get into a fight kind of girl. And Shay just cosplayed her on her channel just recently, or in the last hour, and she did a great job.
Yeah, I was I totally missed that. I spaced out on that.
Yeah,
watch the replay.
Yeah, go check it out. And then Nick is the engineer. He's going to be the guy that kind of helps with making the bike better, and that's part of racing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The pit crew. You know, you gotta have a reliable pit crew, otherwise
sure.
it's gonna fall apart.
Correct. And Sandra is a little bit of a tease of the main villain. So
Nice.
she's kind of like a femme fatale, if you will, but not necessarily in like a Black Widow type of way. It's more mastermind kind of way.
You know, the more I look at this, it kind of it reminds me of kind of the world building they did with. Did you ever see the anime they did for Phantom 2040? It was the same animation studio that did Aeon Flux.
Yeah, I'm aware because of a
chess game as well.
I think that was one of Eric Canetti's first jobs, and that's why I know it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome, because I loved that series. I never got to finish it, but I always thought it was brilliantly done, because the Phantom is one of my favorite pulp characters. Like, I love that character. Just the costume design, the lore, I always thought he was cool. And then, you know, I saw that in Blockbuster one day. I was like, the Phantom 2040, what? Yeah, and, you know, I went and just rented all the VHS tapes and, you know, never saw any more after that.
I need to watch him again for sure. I watched him as a kid.
Need to see if I can find them on like DVD or Blu-ray somewhere.
Yeah, it's weird that that's not on like Amazon Prime right now.
You know, you'd think so, you know, but apparently not.
I mean, they're giving us like Batman Beyond, but I guess that's more popular, more mainstream.
Well, again, it's also you know, Warner Brothers, you know.
Yeah.
You know, they've got the push behind it. But yeah, the world building that you're doing, very much, you know, just the things on her shoulders here, that's just, it kind of rang that bell, because some of the interesting fashions that they would have in that animated series for Phantom, you know, that's what it reminds me of. So I don't know, I love stuff like this. You know, cyberpunk is definitely my jam.
Hell yeah, same here. I don't people ask me all the time, is sci-fi your favorite thing? What's your favorite genre? I don't know what I normally say, but my art and my choices, I vote with my dollar, and it usually tends to go sci-fi or cyberpunk. And you know, but I do like a lot of other things. I love a lot of superhero stuff. You know, but you know, cyberpunk is just like, I don't know, undeniably the coolest, I think.
Well, I mean, you know, ever since I first, because I read books by listening to audiobooks, unabridged audiobooks. So the first time I listened to Neuromancer,
dude,
you know, it just kind of,
you're gonna bring up Neuromancer. I've never met anybody else that's read it.
Oh, dude, I love Neuromancer. Like, William Gibson is one of my favorites. Like, that whole Sprawl trilogy is fantastic. You know,
I've only read a part of the next book.
Zero.
Oh yeah.
Oh, really? So you haven't finished the Sprawl trilogy?
No,
dude, definitely. Oh, and after you read that, go read Altered Carbon if you haven't already. I know they did the show on Netflix.
Yeah, they
did a pretty good job adapting it, but the book, the book always allows you to get more in depth. But yeah, if cyberpunk is your jam, definitely go check out Altered Carbon, the books, the Takeshi Kovacs trilogy.
Yeah, so
damn good.
Okay. Yeah. So what's the one I started, just barely started, is Market Forces by
one of my regulars that comes into the bookshop told me that I need to check that out the other day.
Yeah. All right. Market Forces apparently is the shit. So I'm gonna be on that. I'm gonna check out the rest of the Sprawl series. So we'll see.
Oh yeah. Well, and you know, William Gibson does a lot of good stuff. He did. I mean, he wrote Johnny Mnemonic. As well, you know, God, what was it was a collection of short stories that was in, and there were a bunch of different, you know, cyberpunk stories in there.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. But you know, I find these audiobooks, just because, like I said, that's the only way I can actually have time to read a full book, because comics, because I read so many comics, like, I actually have to look at the comics. You know, they require me to look at them,
which is cool.
But a book, I could listen to an unabridged audiobook and get the full effect. Sometimes even a skilled narrator can elevate a boring book. For me, for an example, for me was Anansi Boys by Neil Gaiman. I really loved American Gods, and I was excited to, you know, there's got to be a sequel. I'm not sure I would have enjoyed the book as much reading it by myself if instead of listening to it, because the narrator just put so much life and energy into these characters, and you could tell he was like really getting into it, and it really brought the book to life and just elevated it for me, you know. So I don't know, I almost, yeah,
there's definitely a few of those for me too. Mm-hmm.
Well, you know, everybody loves being read too. At least I did as a kid.
When you have like no time, especially, you know, you want to get in the book, and it's a good way to like. I usually end up like trying to find like the Neuromancer. You can go find it for free on YouTube. It's that old. So
Definitely. You know, it's a great book though. It's a great book.
It's actually a lot of it's inspired. A lot of the stuff you'll notice where my call outs are from Neuromancer.
Oh, that's exciting. So you guys are hearing this. Like if you're any kind of fan of cyberpunk, like you want to check this out. This is right up your alley. You're going to see all of the little hints and nods to cyberpunk. That is so fucking cool.
I'm stoked to do more because there's so much. Like I concepted so much out. I was concepting, dude. I mention this all the time, but I concepted out like bathrooms and toilets, sci-fi shit that you would never want to see or know about, but I did.
I mean, it's all part of the world. I mean, that adds the verisimilitude, is what it does.
Right.
You know, it makes it that much more real.
And it all happens by accident. It's all organic. I didn't plan it. It was more like, oh, this scene might go to a bathroom. I guess like I got a concept of bathroom, you know? Yeah. And that's just how it worked.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the best way to put it all together. You just build it naturally and organically.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, sure. I don't, at least that's the way I always feel about it. Like when I'm writing something and I'm world building, like I've got a story that I need to tell and it's going to take me where I need to go. And then I will build that around it. And if I need to expand beyond where I'm at, then I will.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, for me, writing is more about like receiving, like what I'm getting. Like I found this thing, this idea that's out here in the idea space, and I've got to kind of feel around it, find the edges, and dig away all of the unnecessary fluff to find this concept, this story.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like a refining. I forgot. It's one of the Studio Ghibli movies where they gave the advice to the girl. It's like mining a piece of ore until you find the gem inside the rock, and you got to just chisel until you find the gem. It's polishing the stone until you find the gem inside.
I'm not super familiar with Ghibli.
Ghibli. That one could be. It's the one with the chick. It's like it's mostly a high school romance, but she ends up being a writer. It's the one with the cat. She imagines a cat in this world. I don't forget.
Howl's Moving Castle?
No, it's not Howl's. It's this. It's like Whispers of the Heart or something. I think something like that.
Okay. Yep. Nope. Completely not familiar with that.
Yeah, it's one of the. It's not the famous ones. It's not a famous, but it's really good. It's really good because
all their stuff is good. Like Grave of Fireflies and amazing stuff.
Speaking of, if you ever want to like these now woke people that want to talk about like female empowerment, just go watch any Ghibli movie. He is the master of depicting the female experience, like to a clear and exciting level, and not like forcing it. Yeah, and a good story. Yeah,
a good story with strong female. You know what? We've had strong female characters for a really long time,
right?
But they had actual strength instead of the lame. I'm just better than everybody because I'm better than everybody attitude that passes for strength these days. That's not strength. That's just being arrogant.
Or it's just, I mean, it's lazy on the creator's part. It's like
it really is, and that's it's not character. That's I don't know. There's no layers to that. That's shallow.
Right.
What are you
who knows
these cursory things? What is this character?
Right. And the way I look about it is, and kind of like I'm not Buddhist or anything, but the Taoist way is that there's two sides of every coin. So for a character to be strong, it means there was a cost.
Yes.
To being strong. So it means that they went through stuff or they were given it, but they have to deal with the mental cost of having to deal with it. So there's always a cost.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. And you know, that's building good characters. I mean, that's the whole reason why when you do a tabletop game like D&D, you have to have negative characteristics. You got to take God, it's been forever. You got to take you get a perk, you got to take help me out, chat.
I never played, so I wish I.
Oh,
though
yeah.
I drew a lot
It's
of
like
D&D
you
commissions.
gotta take like a knock against you or something like that. You know, it's a neg, basically. You got to take a negative that helps balance out. It's like a personality quirk or something like that, or you know, something like you know, you have a dark past and people treat you badly, so it'll affect the way you're in the world. But because of that, you get this extra stat point that you can put into something else. You know, it helps to make unique characters, and it's the reason why they put that in there is because there has to be motivations, there has to be like struggle. That's what helps define a character, rather than just, oh, they're able to just do this because they're just able to do this. You know, there's did you ever see that episode of Family Guy where Peter gets the tank, you know, for Meg?
I think so.
Okay, and they go to the movie, and it's like the even couple. This is my side of the house, but you can come over here too, and you know, all kinds of just like really lame, like, you know, friends getting along. And Peter's sitting in the tank. They're like, there's no conflict in this movie, and he shoots the screen with the tank. But it's that's kind of like what some of these comics are. It's like there's no conflict here, and if it is, it's just so lame and cursory. It's like it doesn't matter. There's no depth to this story. Come on, you know, give me some stakes. Give me something real.
For sure.
Racing.
People that don't get that. Well, here's what separates a good book from a great book is just polish. But what separates from a bad book to a good book is what we're talking about. We're talking about the basics of drama is showing the conflict. Like the before, middle, and ending of a conflict. That's it. And if you don't have the conflict, you don't have a story, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or you have a boring story. You have some sort of story for rocks or something. People that don't care about conflict.
Exactly. Flying Feline says the bad to appreciate the good, and vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Indeed.
All right. And Spence says, of course, Ryan did a song.
Oh, I have it in the back as well.
Boy. Yeah. Let's do that. Let me go ahead and bring that up. Yeah. That Ryan, I had no idea that Ryan did music. That's great.
Yeah, dude, he's in a band, and like this is an early version. There's even a newer version than that, but I didn't want it. I knew this was like a version that he sent, and I think he posted.
Right. This is just a teaser. You know, it's just a taste. You know,
for sure.
You guys want to hear the rest of it? You know, get in on the campaign. You know,
and the best part is I'll be naming the tracks. I'm naming the tracks to kind of sync up where they would be in the book, so you'll kind of get cues to where they should be. This feels like to me, this is a titles track at the end. To me, it feels very montage title track.
I can totally see that. Yeah. You know, the screenshots from the movie. Yeah,
from the movie of comics.
Yeah. You know, you could do like a motion comic. I mean, those are pretty popular. You know,
maybe soon enough. There's a lot of these hybrid things out there.
It really is.
I want to do, if I do anything innovative, it's going to be traditional comics, like book version, but with some sort of, like, a lot of people are doing AR kind of stuff. You know, have you seen these books where you put on
the augmented reality. Yeah.
Right. But a lot of them just make them into motion comics with AR. Why wouldn't you just make that a video? I don't get. But for me, what if I was going to do an AR book, it would be something that changes the story. Like, the book is one story, and then when you look at it with AR, the story changes. Like,
that would be cool. That would definitely give it a nice layer. Nice, yeah.
I almost have one where I want to do, you read the book in full,
right,
one time through, and then you read it again with the AR, and the story totally changes. Like, almost like you go back in time after you finish the story. You go back in time, read it again with AR.
Events play out just a little bit different.
Yeah, or a lot of it. It could be whatever you want it.
Yeah,
because you're looking at it through a screen now, so it doesn't matter.
Very cool. Skits. Mike and his wife. I always say her name wrong. Karashana. Anyway, they have the book Skits, and they have 3 graphic novels, and like they're different parts of the story. You know, they you know, things turn out differently in each one. So I mean, I had to jump in on that. So that I love stuff like that. That it changes and pushes the boundaries of what we do with comics. You know, it's just pushing the envelope, doing something fun, doing something new. I think that's fun. I think that's great, man. I love that stuff.
Yeah, it's along the lines of
what's up, Edwin?
What's up, Ace? It's like what Aubrey Sitterson. Have you saw his tweet recently? I know EVS is pointing it out.
No, which what did he say?
Aubrey Sitterson, he was saying that like, we need, instead of doing like the straightforward, you know, books, try to make a comic book that could only be a comic book. You know, there's a lot of times you make a book and it could be interpreted as like a storyboard for a movie or a TV show. Are you drinking LaCroix over there?
Yeah,
man.
Yep, I got my key lime. Oh,
nice.
Stuff, man. It's you know, it's refreshing.
Gets me through the day. Anyway, I think that's the way to go. I think we should be not only looking at how to make just your story that you want, but also try to figure out creative ways to make the medium better, you know?
Absolutely. 100% agree. 100% agree. Do you guys have any questions for Joe before we go ahead and wrap up here? Like, this campaign looks fantastic, man. I'm super excited about this. The arc's great. You know, I mean, obviously it means something to you since you've been you've been thinking about it, and it's taken up this much headspace in your head for so long. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
That's exciting to see.
While we wait for a question, there's like the cool part about this book, maybe the biggest inspiration for the book is the theme is really about purpose. And so what I kind of go back and forth in my mind a lot of times is like, even if you try hard at something for so long and get great and master something, is it really worth it in the end? Like, in the grand scheme of things, we're all going to die. We're all going to be remembered, I guess, in some way. But does that matter? And I think in the realm of cyberpunk, it's relevant because of technology.
Oh yeah.
Are you relevant anyway? Or, you know, and so where do we derive the purpose when there is nothing to kind of pull from?
Anyway. Yeah, when there's really nothing to strive for. So I'm kind of getting the feeling like, you know, it's you know, machines are kind of doing everything. We don't really need to work all that hard, but you know, he wants to do this because, you know, it gives him purpose. Like, you know, people are losing purpose.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool, and that, you know,
there's a twist on that, but yes, it's very much that.
It is, but you know, that just like that basic concept, that is just, you know, just, I don't know, a hair's breadth away from where we are as a reality now. I mean, yes, we don't have robots that are, you know, able to do everything, but we've got those weird dog-looking things walking around New York. You know, thanks Boston Dynamics.
I know.
You know, like. So I mean, that's really not that all that far off.
Yeah, I feel like I think Key Masabi is my editor on this, and he calls my book speculative fiction. It's not so far off where I'm creating stuff.
A lot of what Warren Ellis writes as well is speculative fiction. You know, Richard Kadri, he's Oh, that's another one. He did.
I'm going to write some of these down now.
Richard Kadri. Oh my God, I can't remember the name of it right off the top of my head. Now, hang on. Richard.
While you're there, what was the first one you? After you talked about Sprawl,
Metrophage is there. It is. Yeah, Metrophage is the Richard Kadri cyberpunk novel. So good. Kadri's great. I love his work.
Okay.
And then the Altered Carbon series.
Altered Carbon. There we go.
Yeah, definitely check out Altered Carbon. Like, go read the books, at least the first book, and then go watch the first season of Altered Carbon.
Okay.
And yeah, you'll dig it. You'll absolutely dig it. But awesome. Well, all right, guys. We gonna go ahead and wrap up here. Thanks for coming to hang out, Joe. I appreciate it, guys. You have 2 days left to jump on this before it is done. And
we might have. Oh, I was going to say we might have skimmed over this, but everybody that does back when we reach 300 backers in these next 2 days, because I know we can do it. We are going to give away 2 pages to anybody or everybody that's a backer. So
back here, and yeah, we are at 1297, 236 backers. Nice. So 236 backers. You're looking at 300. So I mean, you're less than 270, 260. What?
64, right?
264. Yeah. 64 backers. That's all you need to get to 300. Come on, y'all. We can do this.
Yes, it can happen.
Hold on.
But yeah, everybody.
Jason, what's up, dude? Did you just finish your stream?
Hold on a second.
Hold on. Is he? Are you backing? What are we holding on for? Anyway, but yeah. So yeah, 2 days left. We need to get this boy to 300 backers. I mean, look at his stuff. Look at all this stuff that you get. You know, and if you're feeling real froggy, you know, jump down here and get all this goodness. Like that shirt. Look at that shirt.
Oh yeah. But even if you just want to get the digital copy, that helps us get to that backer. So
absolutely.
If all you afford is $16, it's all you.
Yep. See, you got with the digital, you get the the layouts and the design book as well,
and no shipping. So you're really getting out of there with minimal dollars.
Absolutely, and you get to enjoy the book.
It's less than a dinner, guys. You can a sweet cyberpunk book, and we're gonna be it's done. So you guys are gonna be reading this thing in June.
Ha! See, you hear that? Book is done. All it needs is just to be put together and sent off to the printer, and then you will have your comic. Jason says, "Yeah, backed."
What? Thank you.
Well, let's see if it should. 237 backers. $13,037.
$13,000.
Nice. Look at you. All right,
dude.
Awesome. So yeah, now 63 now. Correct. 63 backers, and then wow, yeah. Math is not my strong suit. Dude, good thing I've got this voice and I can draw.
I know, and you got a good background with reading books too. You got a lot of.
Thanks, man. I've again, it's the audiobooks. I listen to audiobooks and listen to that guy and his delivery. Like if you ever listen to the original Dark Tower books, Frank Muller.
Okay.
He's just an insanely
talented,
gifted narrator. And just his delivery of words. The first turbocharged chapter in a new cyberpunk series. One street racer versus unbeatable androids. Just good. the way he would just read sentences, like he would break them up into certain ways. It blew me away. It's just he was almost acting it out instead of just reading it.
Right.
So that's one of the things that always made me just enjoy audiobooks. It's like maybe I can do that.
I just realized
narration.
I just realized I have to go to Comics Mate in like 10 minutes, so we do have to.
We do have to wrap up. Well, awesome. Tell those dudes that I said hey, and
I will.
guys, we go ahead and wrap it up. He said, "Yeah, I didn't know you were going to stream when I set mine up." Yeah, well, we were supposed to do this last night, and both Joe and I forgot. So yeah, so we went ahead and set it up so we could do it tonight. But all right, we gonna wrap up, guys, so that way Joe can get out of here and get on to his next thing, and we will talk to you later.